progression. With our sweat and blood.
For decades, the people of Anambra State have struggled with inadequate access to electricity and potable water. Recognizing the importance of these resources in building a smart and livable megacity, Governor Soludo CFR embarked on a bold mission that is fast transforming the sector, infusing his policies with the essence of effective developmental state model of the southeastern region in the First Republic. I delightfully welcome you to today's episode of Solution Footprints. I am your host, Chidimma Orangwa, and today on the show, we'll be showcasing how Governor Soludo is harnessing sustainable power and water resources for Anambra's future. Come along. Access to basic resources like power and water should not be a luxury in this day and age. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure that every community has the resources that they need to thrive. On assumption of office, Governor Soludo identified that one of the challenges to overcome in order to build the envisioned livable and prosperous homeland was to provide access to universal power and pipe-borne water. In actualizing this, Governor Soludo took the bold action to revolutionize the outlook of power supply and water resources in Anambra State. Surprisingly, there is a sense of nostalgia about the rich past in the southeastern states. In the First Republic, the founding fathers built the eastern region as the fastest growing economy in the world. Through a frugal use of tax revenue from peasant farmers, they built the cities of Onitsha, Enugu, Aba, Calabar, Port Harcourt, Umuahia, Uyo, etc., equipped with pipe-borne water, electricity, among others. This is a picture of a replica of the kind of society Governor Soludo's administration is conscientiously trying to relieve. Governor Soludo's plan includes the revitalization of the Ministry of Power and Water Resources, giving it a facelift because the work environment was nothing to write home about. To re-engineer the ministry for good, solar-powered electricity was installed in the ministry. Training of staff was embarked upon. All these led to the gradual elimination of manual filing with the issuance of laptops to staff.
Primarily, we have a training that has been able to carry along as many as possible staff, especially the head of departments. And we've had an avenue where we're trained, basically on applications, softwares. And also, we had an opportunity to be given laptops. And the ministry presently has benefited greatly in terms of ICT. It has added value, in service delivery. The processes are involved for contractors to be able to key into projects for the state government and solution projects. It has really aided in delivering them very quickly and swiftly, such that all databases of all activities are being stored in those laptops that are made available.
This government is wonderful. At least the first time, it was a bit transparent. The system we are brought in, everybody knew that there was distribution of computers, and it was through our commissioner. It was distributed evenly after the capacity building. So the government, they are doing very well.
In a nutshell, the activities of the re-engineered Ministry of Power and Water Resources is centered on water, electricity, and fire service. In embracing renewables, preserving the environment, and cutting down costs, upon assumption of office, Soludo's government met 26,199 street lights that were powered by diesel. And in line with its administration's goal of doing more with less, protecting the environment through the use of renewable energy source of clean power, they converted the lamps to all-in-one solar street lights. Today, Another over 1,000 numbers of new solar street lights have been deployed across the state, with 563 in Okpoko, as part of his agenda to regenerate Okpoko to a modern city. The target is to do 10,000 new solar street lights this year. Also, over 80 units of solar home systems, inverter systems ranging from 5 kVA to 10 kVA have also been installed in some public offices, courts, general hospitals, and in many other places, with 32 state high court rooms, the 4 correctional centers, the 3 renovated general hospitals, state secretariats, among others. Also, the state government is deploying 326 5 kVA solar power to 326 primary health centers, 1 per political ward in the state, so as to bring quality health care closer to the Anambra and those resident in the state.
When we came in, part of what we met is actually street that was being powered by diesel. And Mr. Governor, in his usual way, he will always say that what he wants is to build a state, that will be very livable and very prosperous. And for us to have a livable and prosperous Anambra, what it means is that we need to embrace green energy as one of our major sources of energy. So we looked at the street lights that we had that was being powered by diesel, about 26,199 of them. Immediately, Mr. Governor swung into action to convert them to all-in-one solar. As you can see behind me here, this street is being powered by solar, because when we operate on green energy, we mitigate the emission of the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which will in turn contaminate the environment. And of course, we will also save money for the state, because part of the magic that Mr. Governor is doing is to cut down on the excesses to ensure that the resources are prudently managed. The money that ought to have gone into fueling of the street light generators can now be converted into alternative uses. And of course, our offices now, if you go around State Secretariat, if you go there, you will see that already we are converting their power source in a way that they will have 3 sources of power, with the primary being solar. They will also have access to the grid, and diesel will be the 3rd option, which is more like the worst case scenario. If you go to several other government offices, you can see that they are now being powered by solar. Mr. Governor has a plan also, which of course the award has been done, to convert the sources of power to the 326 primary health centers in the state to solar. So what it entails that every ward will have a functional primary health center that will be powered by solar, and of course it will also have water that will also be running on solar.
Interestingly, there has been a statewide conversion of all water schemes in the state to hybrid, powered by solar, the grid and generators. Worth mentioning is the creation of synergy between the state, EEDC, TCN, or the stakeholders in the power sector to ensure increased power supply in the state. This is already yielding results, as an MLU has been signed with EEDC, with a daily average supply of power moving from between 13 to 15 hours to over 18 to 20 hours. Anambra State has equally created the regulatory framework to enable private sector investment in power in the light of the Electricity Amendment Act 2023. The Anambra State Electricity Policy and Bill have been drafted, and the bill is currently undergoing the process of passage at the State House of Assembly.
And many thanks to Mr. President, who has actually signed the 2023 Electricity Act, which now gives the states the power to actually legislate on their own power. In Anambra, we had already keyed into that. Very soon that will be passed. And once that happens in Anambra, the Anambra State Electricity Market will be created. And once this is done, the private sectors will have opportunities to come into the state and invest in all energy value chain in the state. So with this and so many other efforts of the government, we believe that the Anambra will have access not just to power supply, but power supply that will come from a cleaner source. Because you recall that environment is one of the 5 key pillars that Mr. Governor, wants to use to develop Anambra. So Mr. Governor has a very keen interest, in trying to make sure that we'll have a livable environment. And a livable environment will be that environment where every source of pollution, every source of environmental degradation, will be minimized.
The Ministry of Power and Water Resources is collaborating with Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, ANSIPA, to increase private sector investment in renewable energy sources in the state. This is yielding results already, as renewable energy projects that will supply power to Anambra West and environs is currently being worked on through a private investor. Being a people-centric administration, especially for the poor, the downtrodden and forgotten, Governor Soludo's government is extending electricity to the unserved and underserved areas in the state. It will be important to mention that people living in these communities have never seen electricity for the first time, but it has been made possible in line with the present administration's mantra of leaving no one behind. 33 kV line has also been extended to Umona from Agolo to boost power supply within the 14 communities in Agwata and beyond.
Phenomenal! Governor Soludo's strategic policies for the Ministry of Power and Water Resources in Anambra State are proving effective with reinvigorating the power and electricity, as well as intentionally rebranding fire service in Anambra State. Join me, there is more for you.
Governor Soludo understands that in order to boost industrial production and improve the living standards of the people, easy access to drinking water is critical. Governor Soludo started by dimensioning the problem through the conduct of an inventory of water sanitation and hygiene wash facilities across the state, which revealed that 70% out of 1,400 public wash facilities in the state were not functional, and 100% of the water schemes in the urban and semi-urban areas are moribund, largely because of lack of community ownership and power sources to the schemes. The administration has since commenced the conduct of hydrogeological survey, mapping of both surface and underground water. It is over 60% completed. The target is to make access to clean pipe-borne water a right of every Anambra. With the ongoing rehabilitation of 5 urban water schemes including Oka, Otuocha, Nnewi, Obizi and Greater Onitsha, which has 3 components, pipe-borne water is gradually returning to the major urban cities in Anambra. Fetching points are fast springing up in Otuocha, Oka and Nnewi.
Anambra State government gave Overman contracts in 2 locations. One, Oka, the other one, Onitsha. In Oka, we have 2 locations also. One is ABS, another one is Aroma. Aroma, our duty here is to construct 10 boreholes, new boreholes. Additionally, we have to supply and install 2 booster pumps. We have to activate concrete tank, which is a ground tank, and 2 million liters overhead reservoir. We are to reactivate the reticulation system, that is the transmission lines, distribution lines, and additionally we have to construct new 25 kilometers additional pipelines. These lines are for the distribution purposes only. Then in terms of ABS, we made 5 boreholes, which we rehabilitated them, and we constructed additional 2 more. All these boreholes, they can work on AC, they can work on solar. And the pumps inside, the pumps we installed are hybrid types. In order to reduce cost of electricity, we solarized the booster pump. We are to rehabilitate 4 tube wells at Army Barracks, construct 3 new ones. And at Crash Program, we are to rehabilitate 3 and construct new ones. So all the rehabilitation works we have done that. So what is left for us is the reticulations now. We have already started pumping water into the reservoirs. So now it's for us to release that water to the public. The contracts indicate that we have 6 months within which to complete. We just finished the 3rd month now. We want to finish this work within 5 months. This is our plan.
The semi-urban areas are not left out, as the state government is also rehabilitating and managing 15 small town water schemes, Agolo, Okuzo, Umunze and Obusi inclusive. This amounts to 5 per senatorial zone.
Over 100 schemes are already running across the rural areas in Anambra State. And one significant thing is that they are running on 3 sources of power, with the primary being solar. So when you go around our schemes, you find out that our primary source of power is the solar. Then all the schemes are already also connected to the grid. So grid is the first secondary, and the worst case scenario is the diesel.
The rural dwellers are also considered, as Soludo's government is rehabilitating, constructing and converting 109 rural water schemes across the state, with a reticulated water in Okpoko and senior civil servants estate in Iyago Oka inclusive. About 64 have already been completed.
Soludo your mama na Chineke ga-agọzi ego. And then na-ekwu ebu n'oche wego. Ogologo good ka enyenye n'ọzọ. Onwedo onye ya na ya na-azọ ya. O nyere anyị ụzọ. Dekwa anyị ọkụ o. Da were kwe mmiri na ịkọ anyị aka shop. Ebe atọ mekarịta. Kelebere na anyị ya no ọgbalịka. Ya bụ first governor mụrụ n'ụwa mmere nye dị obi ndị nne ma ọ bụ ndị nna ma ọ bụ ụmụaka mma. O mekai o nwere ndị chere ma anya afụbeghị ụdị a. Onye bịara iziri otu okpoko 7 o'clock ebe a bụrụ Dubai adọsị ya ga-eme first campaign o jere n'ọgbọ ọsị ya ga-emerịrị okpoko abụrụ Dubai ada amazi aka ugbu a o jecha na o jebere anyị president ọ ga-achịrịrị anyị Naịjirịa niile. Gwen Soludo na ndị okpoko niile ejikọtara aka sị na ọ ga-adịrịrị ya mma. Ọgwụfere na election Adam aka onye gbara aka anyị etida ya ebe a Adam aka ọ ga-achịgide anyị Chineke gozibe.
So he has been, in fact, he is trying for Okpoko. And he told us the other day that he is still coming. He is still coming, and we will believe him due to what we have seen. But not only Okpoko. When I move around Anambra, I do see many places. You understand? And he still tells us that he has not borrowed money. You understand? That one baffles me a lot. That and the work is going on.
Soludo's administration is committed to end open defecation in the state, matching words with actions. In total commitment to end child morbidity and mortality in the state, Anambra is the only state in the southeast that has achieved open defecation-free ODF status in 4 local government areas of Anambra East, Agwata, Nnewi North and Idemili South. To ensure the sustainability of the efforts of his government in Wash, Governor Soludo is reviving the Anambra State Urban Water Asset Holdings Corporation with an MD already appointed. Presently, the headquarters in Oka is being renovated and an out-of-court settlement of the over 14 years dispute between the state government and staff of the defunct Water Corporation and ANSEPA have been concluded.
On my appointment, we've been able to achieve a lot, especially sorting out the issue of the age-long dispute between Anambra State government and the Water Corporation. That will enable us to have an institution in place that can interact both with the local and international organizations to attract funds in the water sector for Anambra State. To take care of day-to-day management of the water schemes. An interface. We have what we call Wash Monitor now. It's a program that we've initiated where the consumers, the Anambra, can easily link up with our office. If you have challenges in lack of pipe-borne water or water facility in your community or in your location, you communicate us. So if you have issue of pipe leakages, you communicate immediately. If you have immediate needs of potable water, you communicate. So that Wash Monitor is a platform we have initiated to have a direct link with the people. WhatsApp, you do video call, you send messages on the challenges you are having as a consumer. And in part of that dispute resolution agreement, the government did what we call needs assessment. Needs assessment of the personnel that are required in the present Anambra State Urban Water Sector Holding Corporation. Whether it's the plumber, electrician, technicians, mechanic, plant managers, what have you. And we gave room that the workers of the different Anambra State Water Corporation who are still willing, because some of them have requisite experience, who are still willing to come back to the service, are free to come in. Then the governor has also given us approval that by the time we collect all these things, we should be able to employ more staffs to be in place so that we'll ensure that we are not lacking in personnel that are required to maintain and manage this scheme. So Anambra, this is the game changer. We have changed gear, especially in water sector.
In fact, the staff have started receiving the money owed to them.
It emanated from Mbadinuju, the suffering of water corporation staffs and pensioners. Spill over to Pito, from Pito to Obiano, before our able governor Soludo came in to solve the problem. There's a approach he brought, that is a verification and the rest of them, which he did last year and thereabout. After that, he went into agreement with the union for payment. He agreed to pay instrumental for instrumental payment. We have received the first batch of the payment. Pensioners are now receiving. It is a big relief to us because if you are owed 1 billion, you are giving 100,000. It is something. The worst thing for you to reject. If you reject, you have to suffer. So we are accepting and we are using it. Like myself, I'm happy for the payment. You solve my problem of paying my son, my first son, who is in VNN now, the year school fees, first and second, for the 1 year. I have solved it. So that one of my daughter at Yoku and that one of Suka, who is doing her project now. It is a big relief. In fact, if it is not it, I can survive it because of it. I thank Soludo. So far, so good. May he increase his faith.
The target is that all communities in Anambra will have access to portable and affordable water supply. Government's PPCP model of community involvement and ownership of water facilities is being mainstreamed. An MOU have been signed to kick off the door-to-door water reticulation in Neni community as a pilot.
As we speak, if you go on the street, you can now see people fetching water. It's not just an ordinary water. They are fetching water that is treated. They are fetching potable water. And of course, health-wise, the waterborne diseases that will be associated with drinking waters that we don't know the source, that will be avoided. The environment will also be cleaner now because sachet water and every other thing, which was the order of the day when we came in, you see them dropping because people can now fetch water from their taps and drink it.
Under the watchful eyes of Governor Chukwuma Soludo, Anambra State Fire Service is evolving. The present administration met the fire service that operates with poor firefighting equipment and swiftly procured firefighting equipment worth over 100 million naira for the Anambra State Fire Service.
Our dear governor, he has procured a lot of firefighting equipments, like the hand glove, the safety boots, the safety wears, even the helmet. He purchased a lot of them so that we'll be able to fight fire without our firemen being affected in the course of fighting fire. Also, he has sunk boreholes in all the fire stations in Anambra State. So we don't lack water whenever we go for fire incidents. The vehicles there too is serviced as and when due. Even the diesel, we are not in short of diesel. He has impacted positively in the sense that whenever there is fire incidents, we go out, we fight fire, and we control the situation. There is no much harm on with the firemen, and equally the public. They are very, very happy whenever there is fire incidents and we turn out in mass. and we put off the fire. My advice to the Anambra is that it's very important that we be safety conscious. So we encourage every home, every school, every hospital, everybody in the Anambra to purchase fire extinguisher and keep in their home. It's very important.
Indeed, Governor Soludo's ongoing revolution in providing power and water resources has not only improved the quality of life for countless in the Anambra, but it has also set an example for other states to follow. It is a testament to the power of leadership and vision to create disruptive but sustainable changes. For the Anambra, Governor Soludo has distinguished himself as leader who has given an unprecedented care and absolute concern for the poor and downtrodden. And going forward, the future looks ever bright and promising with Governor Soludo in the saddle.
Global warming is not a conqueror to kneel before, but a challenge to rise up to. A challenge Governor Charles Soludo has risen to, increasingly moving towards a greener energy, potable water, and a more sustainable Anambra state. And this is where we draw the curtain for today's episode of Solution Footprints. Follow us on our social media handles at Solution Footprints on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and Solution FP on X, formerly Twitter. My name is Chidimma Oranwa Kemesian.
With our sweat and blood, every breath of our lives, with trust in God, we will lift our